Hey guys, the fun part about having a YouTube channel and talking about this is that I can sort of document a lot of my feelings and a lot of the concerns that I have as I play through Football Manager. And I would say that one of the biggest ones here is the concerns about the fact that we're just not getting much from the striker position. So there are a couple different ways to look at it. It's tricky because you don't want to make any big changes that could screw up your tactic and result in you losing. But what I'm starting to wonder here is if it wouldn't be better to sort of change things up, right? So as we've got this set up right now in this tactic, we've got a striker and advanced forward, a single shadow striker, and then this advanced playmaker on the side. What I'm starting to wonder is if it wouldn't be better to do one of two things. So one of them is you could take that advanced forward, turn him into like a false nine, and then take this advanced playmaker over here, turn him into another shadow striker, right? So the idea behind doing this is to have this striker sort of play a little bit further back so we don't have to rely so much on guys who really can't score and have these guys come up. Or we could also always push this guy back and have him do, maybe an advanced playmaker on a support role, or maybe even have him, I've seen a tag like this as well, have him also be a shadow striker and try to keep this attack going forward. The second variant I'm a little bit worried about because I'm worried that we have too many guys in the attack role. Segundo Volante we could put back into support, so it theoretically could work. But I mean, it's something to play around with this and something sort of to work with. We're not going to do that, of course, right now because we do have matches that are pretty important for us to win. So I'll go ahead and set this one up again here for us the way that we had it before. But it's something I'm thinking about because it may be the case that in the near future we might need to do something like that. And I'll show you kind of what's going on here. So we go over here to the squad planner. Once it finally opens up, take a look at our strikers. We have a whole ton of strikers here. Hushichan is clearly the best of our young strikers. I mean, he's okay. He's resilient, which is good. He's done well in training for the most part. He's a decent player for the side underneath us. He doesn't have great feelings towards me, so whatever. But the problem that we have with him, as usual, is the form, right? And this is the thing that we've been running into with our strikers over and over again, which is that if we look into actual league games, well, he had one good game against Chinese Petroleum. That's when he got a goal and got an assist. The rest of it have been quiet. I mean, these are not awful performances. This one, though, in that club we lost against, the match we lost against the Athletic Club Taipei, that's pretty bad, right? We can look at the AFC Cup. This was against the team from Guam. He should be good enough to play well against them, and he did not. So there's some concern, right? He has not actually been making forward progress. His progress has been backwards, which is another thing to be concerned about. I mean, this isn't like progress over the short run. This is over the long run. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this guy really has it in him to be the next big striker. We could look at some of these other guys, but, we don't have a whole lot of form to look at. I mean, this guy's played a little bit, but I think these are mostly friendlies. If we go look at actual competitions, he played in one match briefly, and then, of course, did not play in the AFC Cup match. And then the further down this we go, the more we see guys who just have not really had the chance to play yet. I mean, much at all. This guy doesn't have enough behind him to make me even begin to think that I know what he's capable of. So that's what the question is, right? Which is, okay, so what do? We know that we don't want to go with Nene because he can't score. We're not going to go with Maile. Maile has not really been progressing as well as we were hoping. This isn't what we want. We want to look at his progression. Yeah, see, he's had some backwards progression as well, which is really not what we want. Everywhere we look, we see guys, they've either stayed the same or they've gone backwards, they've gone down. Now, part of that's probably on the club, right? We probably should try to build up a little bit more in terms of training abilities, better coaches and stuff. It's going to take some time, right? And we're probably not going to be here long enough to actually see all of that happen. The question, though, is whether we wouldn't be better off sort of messing around a little bit more with these advanced midfielders, right? We got another guy here, Jemwei, probably is not going to be good enough to start in that role, but he might eventually get to that point. This guy, Jen Chemwei, also probably not quite good enough to be a starter just yet, but, has some potential and maybe could make it up there. So that's sort of the thought. Maybe we start, trying to fill this out more a little bit further here in the back and try to have three guys here who attack, have these guys sort of stay back a little bit and just sort of like feed balls up to the front. It's an idea. It's a thought. We look here, see at the development center, you have nobody who's a first team candidate, which is part of our problem. When we look over here at the under 18s, we're looking for attacking players in particular, and we just don't have very many. We don't have any at all, right? I mean, we could look at Huyu, right, who's a striker who could also play as an attacking midfielder. And he's actually a standard player for that division. This is the guy who we maybe want to consider bringing up, right? So maybe he would help solve the problem. I don't know. There's this guy Tian Yongfu, and he's also a standard player at the division below ours. Again, maybe we can make something happen. I don't know. We don't have a whole lot of other guys to choose from. As a side note, these guys like this one, defensive midfielder / striker, I hate running into guys like this because, you're like, are you an attacking player or are you a defender? Like, how do I use this combination, right? How do I use this combination of these two things? Maybe he could play well as a segundo volante, though, in the future at some point in time. So it's something to look into. I don't know. We'll see what answers we come up with. The other thing we can look at, of course, is you can look over here and see. So he likes to play as an advanced forward, Nene, which is funny because his performances have actually not been very good. The player's recent performance has been nothing short of sensational is actually not true because when we look at his form, we see two good performances, and before that we see a bunch of poor performances, right? He plays really well against the teams he's expected to do well against, and the other teams he does poorly against, right? Maile prefers to play as a target forward. We're not going to do that. Hushu-chan, I'm trying to think. He could play as a poacher. I wonder if he maybe could play as a false nine. And that's part of the problem that we have. I think most of these guys here are going to want to be a poacher. For whatever reason, they come up and they don't want to do much more than just sort of stand up there next to the goal and wait for the ball to come to them. So we'll see what we can do with that, right? Like I said, there's sort of two choices. Maybe what we do, depending upon how it goes here in the league, if we are able to win the league, we got to win a little bit more to be able to win the league a little early. But if we are able to win the league early, then maybe for the rest of the season, we do some experimentation, try to move maybe the striker back to false nine and then have two shadow strikers around him, see if we can't get more goals there from the attacking advanced midfielders, and try to set the club up like that. And then maybe when the transfer window starts again, then maybe we try to have three attacking midfielders and sort of see what we do. Other thing we can look at here are the guys who are coming on, right? So Chohan is going to come over in the back. He probably is not quite ready to play at this level yet. I mean, they're giving him a D, right? So he's probably not quite ready for us yet. Huang Guanda is coming in. He's 18 years old. They gave him a B+, and he is an international. He's one who I think actually probably has the potential and the actual ability to do something for us. The question, though, is where do you play? Because where he really wants to play, he hasn't come in yet, but he wants to play as a center midfielder, a position that we don't have. We could, however, put him up as an attacking midfielder as another shadow striker, and that's the other thing that I'm thinking about, right? So when this transfer comes in, and he's coming in on August 29th, so we have a couple of weeks, right? We'll look here at the schedule really quick. That's going to come right here after, so 1, 2, 3 league games later, and after Guam Shipyards. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 days from now, he'll come in. Maybe at that point in time, we'll think about changing to having 3 shadow strikers, depending upon how the league is going. If we've won the league, and there is a good chance that we've won the league by then, right? We'd have to be 15 points up. But I think there's a good chance that we do that. If we've won the league by that point in time, then yeah, let's go ahead, bring him up. We'll get rid of Nene, sell him off, and then we'll teach the guys how to play with no strikers and 3 shadow strikers over there in the middle, and sort of see what happens. I mean, maybe it'll be a good idea. Maybe it'll work out for us in the end. Anyway, I don't know. I'd love to know what you think. This is all sort of tactical playing around, fiddling around and stuff like that. I don't know. Should we go strikerless? What do you think? Talk to you later. Bye.